Hi, everybody. It's Tammy from Quilting Up North. I'm here for block number 3 of our Dazzle block of the month. Uh, this pattern this month, I can show you what it'll turn out looking like. This is what your final block will look like. I really like this block. We do not need templates this time, which I'm sure a couple of you are excited about. One person's already mentioned to me that they're excited about not needing a template this month. Um, So you should have all received it in the mail, your patterns in the mail or emailed to you, whichever you needed me to do. And we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm start with this video, assuming that you've cut out everything that needs to be cut out, and we'll just talk about the construction. So what it asks you to do with your white squares, is to draw a diagonal line through the middle of your white square, and then it's going to be paired with your teal square. And I'm trying to get it apart. With this is the teal. It's going to be paired with your teal square. You lay those two facing each other, faces together. I will tell you, I use a ruler like this because I like to know where my 1/4 inch needs to be sewn rather than taking the center line and then sewing a 1/4 inch from each side. Whichever you prefer is fine. I like to mark mine, so I really like this type of ruler where you can uh, mark your lines. So as you can see in the pink, I mark, oh, there we go. I mark my lines. This is a center line, of course, and then where I need to actually sew. So once you have done that, you've marked your center line, you've sewn on a 1/4 inch on each side of that center line, then you're going to slice these in half. And of course, then you have 2 half square triangles that look like these. As you can see, I haven't cut my little ears off yet, but I will get those cut off before I sew them together. It just takes away a lot of the bulk. So I don't leave those on. Some people do. I just don't because like I said, the bulk that it creates. And we get enough bulk in our seams as it is. So then after we get all those cut and squared, what we're going to do is make our first part of the block. I'm going to put you down to the table to where you can see. In the first part of the block, you're going to take your 2 half square triangles that you just created and 2 of your uh, dark blue squares that are 2.5 inch squares. And you're going to make a 4 patch with them, just like this. So you've got where it looks like it's, after you sew it together, it kind of looks like it's on a bias, but it's not. And this is what your final block will look like. Um, you will make 4 with your 2.5 inch square, the light blue, and then the rest will all be made with the dark blue. So off the 2 corners will be dark blue. Only 4 will have this light blue color in it. Okay, and once you get those sewn together, then we'll do the next step. The next step is to take your, I think it's called medium blue. Yes, you have 32 2.5 by 4.5 medium blue squares or rectangles. Those aren't squares. And what you're going to do is you're going to make something that looks like this. And the way you do that is you take the medium blue, you take dark blue squares, again, 2.5 inch squares, and this time you mark your line in the center of the blue squares, and then you're going to sew on that line. So you don't do the 1/4 inch, you sew exactly on that line. You place it on top of you place the dark blue on top of your dark blue on top of your medium blue. You're going to sew along the line that you drew on there, trim to a 1/4 inch, and then you're going to flip it. So you have, this is called the stitch and flip method. And that way you'll have this part of the block done. The next piece is then you're going to flip your medium blue square over, take a white square that again you have marked your center diagonal, and you're going to sew right on that line. You'll trim to a 1/4 inch and then flip. So you end up looking like this. Now, what I need you to pay attention to though on this is you need to make 16, I believe. Let me look on the pattern to be sure. I believe it's 16. Yes, you'll make 16 left facing angles and 16 right facing angles. So the reason you do this is because you're eventually going to sew them together and you want to make those points when you sew them together. So really pay attention to which angles that you're doing. 16 left, 16 right. To you, that was just opposite because it's a mirror, of course, when I'm recording, but you want to do 16 left, 16 right. And the way you can double check it before you sew it is making sure when you put it together that you're creating like an arrow point with your white, with your medium blue, and then your dark blue will border it. Okay, so that's a very important piece of it, making sure that you get those angles the correct way. All right, then, like I said, when you take these two and you're going to sew them together like so. And as you can see, you get your points will match and you'll get that perfect kind of arrow looking white arrow, a medium blue arrow, and then your dark on the outside. Once you have done all of that, then you have all your components that you need to make your block. And this time you'll be making 4 of these blocks, just like you did last time. So I'm going to play with the components and put this together. I always make sure I look at my picture because I don't want it to put it together the incorrect way and have to do unsewing. So you put these blocks go in each of your corners. And then these, when you sew these together, they go in the middle and they're facing, the arrow is pointing in. Don't have your arrow pointing out, your arrow is pointing in. And then you have cut your center blocks are these kind of turquoise pieces. And that's going to be your second row of this block. That's your center. And again, then you need these 2 pieces. And again, your arrows are going to be pointing in. Make sure your arrows are pointing in. And I'm going to pause for just a second so that I can. Okay, so truth happening here is I thought I lost all the pieces I had already sewn together, but I did find them so I can continue the video. So as I was saying, I'm going to take you down to the table so you can see what I'm doing to construct the block, okay? All right, so you lay out your first part of the block that you made with the teal and the blue, dark blue. And you want to, I always look at my picture to make sure that I have them the right way. This is the right way for them. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so they're like this. So that's on each corner. And then the center, I don't have these sewn together, but I will show you what they're supposed to look like when they're sewn together. Is the arrow, and the arrow's pointing down. Okay, you can see it, but let's, oh, okay. So your arrow's pointing down. Then your next is taking the turquoise, and then you want your arrows pointing in. So that's going to be this way. And this way. And then getting the right pieces here. This way. And this way. So again, arrows pointing in, pointing in, pointing in. And then your last row is going to be your two blocks that were the first part of what we made, and another one of the arrows. And again, as the theme goes, pointing in. So once you get all that sewn together, this is the final block. This is the final block. Again, like in the last video, I told you there's a website that you can go to where the designer of the pattern actually does helps you construct each block too. So that's an option for you if you need more assistance. You always can come to me, call me, email me, whatever. I'm always happy to help. This one was, I think it turned out really pretty. Like I said, it didn't have any templates. The one thing I was going to share with you is everybody has their own ruler for what they like to use to square up, but I like this one for my half square triangles, and it's called the strip tube ruler. But you can square up your half square triangles anywhere from, well, if you want to do this a half inch, all the way up to 9.5 inches. You can use this tool, one tool, to square up all of those half square triangles. So both the things that I showed you are something I carry in the store. It's something I went through a lot of tools to find what I like for my half square triangle to square them up, and I really like this one the best. So that's what I've been using. Um, don't forget to send me your finished pictures of your finished block, or you can come in and show me in the shop, whichever way you want to do it, because you get entered for that prize at the end of our block of the month. I also want to let you know I'm going to be doing something new this year. It's a mystery quilt. We'll do, in a year's time, we'll do 4 um, mini mystery quilts, and then we'll do each quarter. There will be a quarterly mystery quilt that you can participate in as well. that information will be forthcoming, but it's just something that I wanted to mention that is going to be out there. You should start seeing texts about it um, in April, and it should be on my email as well in April. So if you have any questions about that, once I've introduced it, please let me know on that. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's not like most mystery quilts. There'll be several different fabric choices for you to choose. I'll work with the people who design the patterns to make sure that the fabrics that I pick um, for you to choose from will be something that'll look nice with the quilt pattern. And I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be a great thing. So look forward to that. If you have any questions, give me a call. Otherwise, let's get sewing. Thanks, ladies.